on time. 6 o'clock, straight up.
Good evening.
You're on time.
What are we talking about tonight? Do you know tonight's topic?
Something about the canter.
The canter. The canter challenge is officially starting next week.
What day?
Next Thursday, May 1st, is the first day of our 30-day canter challenge.
Are we doing Facebook Live? I think we have the challenge on the same day.
Yes, there will also be someone doing Facebook Live. It may be us, it may be Nicole. We may delegate that. Anyways, we wanted to talk tonight about like why the canter challenge, a little bit about the canter challenge, give you some tips to help you out with cantering because it's definitely like a tricky gait and a tricky transition. And then hopefully invite you to join the canter challenge if you haven't already. First of all, I feel like canter is definitely something that so many riders struggle with. And my first viral YouTube video, like my first YouTube video that got over 1,000 subscribers was
your canter.
How to sit the canter. And then ever since then, anytime I make a YouTube video that is about the canter, like whether it's the transition or the lead or getting your horse around in the canter, anything like that, it
Very
always
popular, is it?
Yes. And don't you find that too with your students, that the canter is like,
it's a great big hurdle.
Yeah.
Like when you're cantering, and you remember there was the trainer, the breeder that we worked for where we met.
Yeah.
And she was always like, did you canter yet? Did you canter yet? Did you canter yet? The horses weren't ready, but boy, howdy, if we cantered, we were doing our job.
Yeah. But once you figure it out, like once you figure out the transition and you can keep your horse relaxed and you can keep your horse round, I don't know about you, but it's like my preferred gait. Like I think I would rather canter than trot.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like so
much easier on my body.
Yeah, it's easier on your body and you can sit and feel connected to your horse and there's just.
And it lends itself to the forward. It's just,
yeah.
Ba-da-ding, ba-da-ding, ba-da-ding.
And there's something like so magical about that feeling of like a really rhythmic and relaxed and balanced canter. So
and you hear the horse breathing. It sounds like it's purring and
yeah,
very relaxed.
So if you're watching here live, say hello in the chat. Let us know what are you currently working on in your canter, or if you're working up to the canter with your horse. Because
I am working up to the canter in my horse.
Yes. So share with us about your epiphany little moment with your new horse.
Oh, that I've not been riding well, that part? We should move past that.
How you've been working on improving her canter.
I had a couple lessons. We had a clinician come out. I got to ride my mare, and we did a lot of preparation in the trot. We did leg yield in the trot, head to the wall, leg yield in the trot. We did what he said, make a big circle and then come around me, make a little circle, which is the snowman.
Or the spiraling. Oh, he was in that.
We did do the spiraling in as well, but that was to fix the trot more. We spiraled in a little bit and then out, and just to get her a little more balance and get the pole more up.
Yeah.
But for the canter part itself, it was head to the wall, leg yield, little counter flexion. So it was a little counter flexion and straight, a little counter flexion and straight. Then it was head to the wall, leg yield. Then it was the snowman. And then he looked up and he said, you know what? Just sit and don't barely ask. Just allow the canter. And she just hopped into it like nothing. And the canter was balanced. Best canter work I've had on her. And we got her, in the middle of February?
Yeah.
So we did all the preparation at the trot, and the canter was just easy, and it was balanced, and it was in the middle of the age, and everything was lovely, which is not what's been happening when I was on my own.
But it's all about preparation. Like it's all about, the better you get your trot and the better your seat and the better your horse is soft and bending and relaxed, then the better your canter. And part of why I created this 30-day canter challenge is because there is a right way and there is a wrong way to canter. And a lot of times riders, they just canter out of the blue, or give their horse a big smack and then their horse freaks out and, dumps them, or they don't.
Or you see them, they're nervous. I mean, I had a lady once who got all defensive and attacked the canter and basically just felt terrified. The horse was scared out of its mind. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And somebody had said, well, you got to get ready, and you give him a smack, and man, the horse was scared.
Right. And then what happens too is once you have like a few bad canter transitions, then it becomes like you get more and more and more apprehensive. And the canter can be scary. Like definitely when I'm riding new young horses in Europe and it comes time and you're like, okay, I have to canter this horse. And you just like those what ifs start going through your mind. Like, what if I lose control? What if it bucks? What if it bolts? Like,
what if I end up on the Autobahn?
That's a good one. I did get a speeding ticket from Germany. I have to pay that. But, you know, and so what the canter challenge does is it really takes you step by step through the correct preparation and the correct setup for the canter. And even if you're already cantering, you know, the better that your trot, the better that your rider position, the better your transition into the canter. All that stuff is really going to help to improve your canter and set you and your horse up for success, because we don't want you to have a bad experience and have your horse run off or anything, because then it's not good for you and it's not good for your horse either.
Right. Yeah. And if it's not good for your horse, it's not good for you.
Yeah. So
because your horse gets nervous and scared, and or if you're nervous and scared, then it's bad for the horse. The horse has a bad experience, and then nothing good happens after that.
Right.
It has to be positive for the horse.
So like the first part of the canter challenge, well, you get, when you sign up, you get all exercises. There's like about 30 pre-recorded exercises. I'm going to be doing live trainings every day, which I'm every week, which I'm super excited about. The first live training is going to be on canter biomechanics and rider position, which I'm really excited about, because the canter it's a tricky gait, right? It's like a very different movement than the walk and the trot. There's a left lead and there's a right lead. And so it's really important that you understand the mechanics of what your horse is doing and then what your body should be doing to follow that.
Right, and that first step is where you really go, wow, horses are really strong. Because the trot, 1, 2, 1, 2, you know, they go, but this decantering, right, you've got to let the horse use itself.
Yes. So if you're having a problem with your canter, join the canter challenge. We're going to be giving away $10,000 to the top transformations, which is always really fun. And these 30-day challenges, I did the math. Can you believe this is our 6th 30-day challenge?
That's a lot.
6 of them. When my friend first suggested that I do a 30-day challenge, because she's in the fitness industry, and so she does like 30-day fitness challenges, and I was like, I can't do a riding challenge for 30 days. Like, we all know that riding...
It takes forever.
Yeah. Riding is like such a like long...
It's a lifetime thing.
Slow sport.
No instant gratification.
What these challenges are is they're like a kickstart. Like, they're a chance to set new habits and to really make your riding a priority for a month. And then you'll find that after that month, you're on such a like high trajectory that you continue on it after that month. So of course, like, I'm not telling you that you're going to have the perfect canter in 30 days, but if you stick to it and if you do something every single day to work on improving your canter, by the end of the 30 days, you will have a significantly different ride and significantly different canter.
Yeah.
So,
you know, that the attention to detail, the focus, the energy, the effort, the time, all of those things, and it really makes a big difference in your ability to improve.
Yeah. And they're also just so much fun. Like, the Facebook group, and everyone's so excited. And we already had the first planning session was on Wednesday. So we kind of went through like the calendar and how everything's structured. We can't see your beautiful eyes. And then if you still want to sign up for the challenge, there's still a week, so you can sign up through next Thursday, really, and you'll get the recording for the planning session. And we already had people start working on their mottos. I see some of you here are in the challenge. So if you're here in the challenge, let me know what your mantra is for the challenge. It's like 3 words to help you that you're going to focus on to improve your canter this month. What are your 3 words for your horse?
Go fast, don't die.
No. That's not a good mantra. They're supposed to be positive things. So you can't say don't die. You could say go fast, but I don't know if that's going to help you with your horse.
No, my horse is already too fast.
Okay, so what are
my horse rushes.
What are your 3 words? One should be rider position.
That's 2 words.
3 phrases.
Okay.
So what are you going to focus on in your rider position?
My hands, funny enough.
Hands down and quiet?
Elbows down, actually. Bent elbows, but he told me, think about your elbows down at your hips. So everything got a lot lower. So,
that probably helped your horse relax.
Yeah, so it was that because I have to slow her down. So I've got to keep my hands by the withers. And then he had me turn more with the leg. So there's the position I need to do.
Outside leg behind the girth, inside leg at the girth. So
Yeah.
legs, elbows, legs. Okay.
Elbows, legs, hands.
What about something for your horse?
She seems to be okay. I'm having the trouble.
All right. He takes all the blame himself. Well, that's a good start on your mantra. Let's see. Susie says long legs, swing the hips, and enjoy. That's a good one.
That is good.
Smile, have fun.
Smile would help me a lot. I'm very serious.
Betsy says queen, lady, elastic, bend, bend, bend. That's a good one, Betsy. Legs long. Okay, that's a good start. No hanging on my inside rein. Okay. You always want to make sure that your mantra is positive. So it should be like, give the inside rein, sit back, because that's the way your brain thinks.
Right, you want to rephrase that.
Yeah.
And make the positive there.
Jeanette says alignment, hands, not breaking the canter. So again, you'd want to think like quick and active. Yeah. Or stay in the canter.
Or a 3-beat canter so that you're going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Okay, so let us know in the chat if you have any questions about cantering. I think one of the biggest focuses of the course is really helping you with your canter transition. Because I feel like if you have a good transition, then your canter is going to be good, right?
The trot to canter transition.
Yeah.
Right.
The transition into the canter.
But you have to have a good trot to start.
Yeah.
You can't have a crap trot, expect to have a good transition, and then get into the canter.
Yes.
That trot has got to be going.
But then once you do have that good trot, is finding like what different patterns and exercises will help your horse. And then for you understanding like what is the canter aid, because it's a little different, and what is the timing of the canter aid, and like all those little details that really make such a big difference to helping your horse have that smooth canter. Because we all know, it's actually funny. I was filming a video riding a horse this week, and I was practicing like bad canter transitions. So I kind of let the horse like throw his head up in the air in the canter transition. And it was a terrible feeling. Like when they just invert and like grab the bit from you, you feel so.
You've got no steering wheel and you're going, and there's no place to sit either. So yeah, it's lovely.
It's not a good feeling. But the thing about the canter is that it's something that you have to train your horse. Like no horse is born with this perfectly balanced, round canter, knowing how to balance a rider. And no rider is born knowing how to ride the canter. So it's something that we have to
all learned.
Yeah.
It's all learned.
And that really is what the Canter Challenge is about. And what's so cool about online learning is that it's an opportunity that you can really learn and focus on your learning and not have to be like on your horse at the same time, you know? So it's a more like you're not distracted, you're not multitasking. You're just in the comfort of your home, like you are now, thinking about cantering.
Right.
And then when you get to the barn and you're ready to canter, it's like so much easier.
You've got one step already taken care of.
Yeah. Let's see. Are there any questions in the chat? Will there be any discussion about exercises for the rider? So we will be focusing on rider position. Yes. There are not any like fitness exercises inside of the 30-day canter challenge. So not in this course. It's all about riding. Let's see. How can you keep your horse from bringing his head too far down, too low? Any suggestions?
In the canter and the trowel in general, really, you want to take weight onto the hindquarters. It's not like pull their head up, but you need to rebalance the horse onto the hindquarters, and that's with your weight.
Yeah. And also, yeah, really with your seat, getting your horse on your seat.
Yeah.
I think that's helpful.
And so, it's a little baby half halt, but it's mostly about adjusting your weight to get the horse to put their weight back on the hind leg.
Yeah. What about horses that put their head up too much in the canter transition?
Well, there's a part of that too. Then they're out behind as well. There's corresponding reaction in front and behind the saddle. So in essence, it's the same thing. You have to improve the balance, but in that case, you also have to have the forward.
Yeah. And again, I think one cool thing in the canter challenge is at the end of all the content, there's like lesson plans for different types of horses. So if you have a horse that's like super hot and you can barely put your leg on for the canter, there's like, here's the exercise to do with your hot horse. If you have a horse who's super lazy, there's a lesson plan for you. If you have a horse that like puts their head up, there's a lesson plan. If you're afraid to canter and you're not cantering yet, there's also a lesson plan for you.
That's the trotter trophy.
Yes. Oh, Cindy has a good question. Does going forward and back within the trot helpful prior to the canter transition?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Transitions within the gait. You've got to ride them like an accordion. You call it the rubber band.
Yes. You call it, what do you call it?
Transitions within the gait.
Yes. Let me see. What else do I have in here? Oh yeah. So we've already had some people in the canter challenge. There was this one student. I was so proud of her. She said she hadn't cantered her horse in like a year. And she went through like the prerequisite trot exercises. And then she listened to some of my exercises on how to ask for the canter. And she had like a perfect canter transition. Her horse stayed relaxed. So I was super happy about that.
And then at some point she could take a breath too, which always helps.
Yes. And we also have ride along podcasts, they're a separate course. But if you're in the canter challenge, you can get the ride along podcasts, which are also great. Because that way you can listen. Basically, I'm like riding a horse and like coaching you a lesson. And people really like those. Her mom tried to record one. We're going to have to get you to record some more ride along podcasts.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
So, yeah. So anyways, we hope you'll join the canter challenge. Oh, one last thing. Let us know in the chat if you're in the canter challenge, if you're doing the canter cup or the trotter trophy, because we do have two different divisions. So the canter cup is for you that are already cantering, like you can canter, but it needs to get better or something. And the trotter trophy is for those of you who would like to canter, but you're not cantering yet, because we really want to make sure that we support both of you. Whether you're like just getting ready to canter and you really need help on the prerequisites, or you're cantering. Are you going to be in the canter cup or the trotter trophy?
I'm going to do the canter cup, I think.
Awesome.
Granted, I mean, so like my two lessons yesterday, or one yesterday and the one the day before. So the day before, I was the trotter trophy. We did not canter.
You didn't even
at all.
canter?
Not the first day.
Oh.
First day we did not canter. And then the second day, I think I cantered 3 or 4 circles in each direction.
But I think that's, sometimes you do, like, you have to be smart and decide. That's the reason that we put the trotter trophy in, is because we don't want people getting to the end of the challenge and being like, oh my God, I have to canter my horse. Because if your horse isn't ready, if your prerequisites aren't good enough, if your horse isn't relaxed, if you know that it's going to be a disaster, then don't do it.
So we didn't do it. The day before yesterday, we didn't do it. We got
Right.
the horse really, really good. And we'd been at it for a while. We got the trot super balanced and everything was great. And that would have been the time to go ahead and canter. But then we'd have been out there really long. And then if something goes wrong and and so it's just better to stop there, everything positive. And then we came back. And like I said, I think I cantered 4 circles in each direction.
Yeah.
And that was all the canter we did the next day. And today she got off.
But I do think that being able to canter your horse is a very important milestone. And I remember I used to start a lot of colts, a lot of young horses, and Larry would always say to me, he's like, you've got to canter. Like, you are safer if you can canter your horse, because if you don't canter, something someday is going to cause your horse to canter. And it's not going to be when you ask, right? You don't want to wait for like a spook or like your horse to, you're better off if you can be the one that initiates it. And then if you have that confidence that you can canter your horse, it gives your horse so much more confidence and you confidence. Because remember, horses are flight animals. So if you're like, oh my God, we can't canter, that's not going to go well. Right,
because if the horse spooks and you try and trap it and say, don't go fast, The horse is like, I'm afraid and I need to go fast. And then you're saying, don't go fast. And then there's going to be conflict. We don't want conflict.
Yeah.
Paula has a good question.
She says,
there.
yeah, are the Canter Ride-Along podcasts suitable for people that are just starting out in canter who are anxious about cantering? So yes, there are 2 podcasts in there that are all the trot prerequisites, so that are just walk trot, like get ready for canter. And then one thing about the Ride-Along podcast, which is interesting, is I've had a lot of students that listen to them like while they're driving or exercising or something. And so even if you're not ready to canter, but you listen to the Canter podcast where I talk through like, okay, let's get ready to canter. Okay, shoulders back, hands down, push your horse off the inside, like half halt, sit in, ride the rhythm, like that, all that visualization stuff does really help for when you are ready to canter. And so in the Canter Challenge, we're absolutely supporting people who are not yet cantering. But for those of you who are not yet cantering, learning this stuff, like learning the canter biomechanics, learning about the aid, learning about the different exercises, learning about the rhythm, all that information in your brain will come to save you on the day when you are ready to canter. And I think that's really important.
Right. That's Holly says, Pony is ready. She's waiting for her confidence. But everything that you just said, right? When you're mentally prepared and you have the information, then you have more confidence and you're not just going blind. I mean, faith is a wonderful thing. Some of these things you have to take on faith and go, I'm going to do this because I've done the right thing and I know it's going to turn out okay. That's an act of faith. And then after you've experienced it a few times, then you have confidence.
Yeah. But praying usually is like, yeah, I don't think you should rely on praying.
No, I'm not talking about prayer. I'm talking about faith in your system, in your program, right?
Okay.
I've done all these things. I haven't cantered yet, but I've done all these things and I've got faith in my system. So I'm going to do this because I trust my preparation. And then after you do it a few times, then you have confidence because actually you proved yourself right and it turned out okay.
Okay, I'll put the link here for the Canter podcast. If you're interested in signing up for them, I think we should get Herman to do. Will you do it? Can we add a Canter podcast in that you do for us?
Yeah, fine. No problem.
We're gonna hold Herman to adding in a Canter podcast.
On my horse or a different horse?
Either one. It's sometimes like I find it's easier to do the ride along podcast on a horse that you don't have to give like 100% of your focus to.
Right. There'll be there might be some some gaps in my.
I usually do them on Mercurio or Jacques. You could do it on Jacques because he's a little, or Elior. Elior would be a great one. And her owner's out of town, so you could do that.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Okay, Herman's agreed to add to it. I think there's already like 7 in there, but it's, the more the better. And it's always interesting to hear about like what someone else is thinking when they're getting ready for the canter. But anyways, I have a lot of work to do to get ready for our 30-day canter challenge. It's going to be such an exciting and fun 30 days. So I'm really excited to working with all of you and who are enrolled. If you're not yet enrolled, you have until next Wednesday to sign up and get enrolled. The price will increase on May 1st. So just sign up early, and you do have lifetime access. So even if now is like maybe not the best time for you, you can always watch the recordings and come back to the exercises at any time. So it's going to be lots of fun. Agreed? Are you going to help me out?
Of course I'm going to help you out. I'm just laughing at what Susie's, because I was...
Debbie says, yes, podcast from Herman.
I was in the Navy and they told us about the 7 Ps. So it's pretty close to that one, which was prior proper planning prevents piss poor performance. That's what I learned in the Navy, one of the things. And then the question about Q. So there was Q and new Q, and they're both gone.
Herman's 2 old, for those of you who didn't see the question. Herman's 2 horses.
I had Q, and then the other one's name was King's Quattro. We called him Q as well. So there was Q and new Q. And new Q colicked. And so that ended him. And then Q, he lived his retirement in a pasture in Idaho, and he ruled the turnout, right? So they had different horses coming in, and I think he was about 25 when they brought a new horse into the pasture, and he went galloping over to it to tell them that it was his pasture, and he had a heart attack galloping over there, and that's how Q ended his day.
Good way to live.
That's an all right way to
And
go.
what do you call your new horse?
Cutie.
QT, because I guess every horse is going to be.
Every horse needs to be a Q.
Yes, so that's exciting.
So yeah, the mare is called Cutie, and she is. She
Yeah.
is a total, really wonderfully sweet and very pretty. So Cutie.
Yes. Stephanie, are we going to open Strides back up? So Stephanie, if you want to get into Strides, join the Canter Challenge, and there will be an invitation for you to get a free 30-day trial into Strides. So yes, we would love to have you. Our Canter Challenges are like a lead-in to our awesome Strides program, which I know so many of you are in. And if you're in Strides, you have automatic enrollment to the Canter Challenge, so please don't purchase it again. Or if you have already, email us support@AmeliaNewcombDressage, and we will send you a refund. Alrighty, everyone, have a wonderful evening, and we will see you next Thursday. Bye.
Bye.